Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is November 30th, and right now we are looking at the infrared satellite imagery. You've got the state of Washington here. There's Oregon, there's the Hawaiian Islands and Alaska there. If you look out over the Pacific, you can clearly see the storm train rolling towards Pacific Northwest, and initially it's going to bring some pretty chilly systems here and really pile up the snow at some of the higher terrains of the Cascades, and even portions of eastern Washington, Oregon, some of the lower elevations could get some snow as well. We'll take a look at those details as we go, but then we are going to rapidly change things up and bring it out of the southwest as we start to go through the second half of the weekend and on in through the early portion of next week with rising snow levels and some possible flooding concerns here across the region. And take a look down across the Hawaiian Islands. Kona storm down there, bringing some flooding conditions as we speak. Some flash flood warnings are in effect. This moisture is going to merge with the jet stream here and bring a powerful atmospheric river, two of them actually, into the Pacific Northwest. We have a windstorm potential here as we go on through the early portion of December also. So we have a lot to talk about. Where do we start? I don't know. We're just going to dive into things here. Current hazards, you got winter storm warnings, you got winter weather advisories all over the place. We got mountain pass travel impacts mainly on through Friday and Saturday before things start to warm up slowly on Sunday and then dramatically so as we go on into Monday. Travel could be difficult. Great graphic here from the National Weather Service Spokane. This is Seattle National Weather Service. Actually, Portland here. I think Seattle has one out as well. But weather pattern changing ahead from cool and dry to mild and wet. And you can see heavy rain possible for lower elevations resulting in rises on rivers and creeks. Definitely going to be an ongoing and dynamic situation as we go into the early portion of next week. Mountain snow, National Weather Service Seattle talking about the big amounts across some of the higher terrain there. You can clearly see it. And then the big problem comes when we start to warm things up. So another great graphic here from the National Weather Service Seattle. And check it out. There's a hydraulic outlook as well for the possible flooding that's going to be incoming here. There could even be some urban and small stream flooding here as we bring some heavy precipitation to some areas of the lowland as we go on through early next week also. We've got sneaker waves also and some big wave action on the coastline. So it's classic storm watching season out here on the West Coast. And this is going to be no exception. Big breaking waves and some possible strong winds incoming here over the next few days in through next week. Taking a look at the sneaker wave threat again here, all the way up and down the coastline here. Portland kind of highlighting it as well. And the waves can run up almost twice the normal height here. So watch out, avoid those jetties and watch out for those big waterlogged logs. Those are the ones that can really get you there. They're super heavy and you don't stand a chance once you get caught up in that surf. Now take a look at Seattle. You can see what's that now? 6 straight days of below freezing overnight and some freezing fog out there. We didn't have freezing fog that I saw this morning, but again, we did see some areas reporting some light frozen precipitation here. And you can see the day 1 through 3 overall winter storm impacts. Some major impacts can be had across the Cascades as we go through Saturday upcoming here. And you can see there is going to be some modern, maybe even some moderate impacts across portions of eastern Washington and eastern Oregon upcoming here. We'll look at some of those winter weather advisories here in a moment. And if you want a nice affordable home weather station, click on that link down below to save 10% off. Now looking at total snow, Kacharian ratio in inches. This is the NAM 3cam high resolution model. And you can see some of this light precipitation. Maybe it was showing up, I think I heard around Southwest BC as well. But you can see a little bit of that across eastern Washington. And then we start to bring in some better chances for eastern Washington as we go through the day tomorrow. And then eventually on in through Friday afternoon, you can see a few inches of snow possible for some of the I-90 corridor here as well. And look at the big snows just piling up in the Cascades as we go through Friday afternoon and we go on in through Friday night into Saturday morning. The snow continues to pile up for some areas. I mean, I don't know if this is going to occur, but you can see near Mount Rainier, the NAM calling for over 100 inches. I don't know about that, but you can see some pretty hefty amounts across the higher terrain, including eastern Washington, Oregon, of course, British Columbia, the Idaho Panhandle, and western Montana. The Olympic Mountain's going to get a nice coating of snowfall here as well before we start to melt it off. Looking at maximum individual wave heights. Let's just look at this really quick here, and I'm just going to show you that we do have some pretty big waves coming towards the coastline here. So if you want some nice stormy action here, get out to the coastline tomorrow afternoon, and you can see that continue on in through Saturday here, and then additional rounds here as we continue to bring some strong storm systems into the Pacific Northwest all the way in through next week. Taking a look at the total precipitation in inches. This is the GFS, hot off the presses. You got the Hawaiian Islands to the bottom left here. There's Washington, Oregon, and California. It's going to put this into motion here, and you'll see the initial system rolling through, and the stronger system roll through Friday. We got an additional precip coming Saturday, Sunday. It's not going to stop here across much of the region all the way on in through next week. As you can see, the big amounts piling up from western BC all the way down the Cascades of Washington, Oregon. Have a classic rain shadowing effect on the east slopes of the Cascades there, but you pick it back up once you get to the higher terrain of some of the Rocky Mountains here and some of the Blue Mountains there across eastern Oregon. And as we scroll on in through the weekend, we're now into Sunday night here, and then we bring the big atmospheric river in as we go on in through the day, Monday into Tuesday here. And look at some of these totals just showing up across some western BC, western Washington, Oregon, as we bring a classic Pineapple Express, otherwise known as an atmospheric river, into the region, and potentially additional systems all the way on in through the mid portion of December. So now looking at the European, this is a wide look at things here. The Hawaiian Islands are down to the bottom left here, and you can see Washington State, California here. There's Alaska. So this is integrated vapor transport. This is how we measure atmospheric rivers. We get these cooler systems in here with some lower snow levels, piling up that snowfall, and then we start to warm things up as we go through the day Sunday. Strong atmospheric river there, and then the monster comes on the day as we go through the day Monday on into Tuesday morning. Look at this thing just kind of hanging out on the west coast. Big time flooding potential with it. Then we're going to be looking for this late breaking wave here on the backside of this atmospheric river coming up across the Pacific Northwest right there. It's been showing up in the model at times here, and that could bring some interesting wind scenarios from places interior for Seattle or Portland, for example, and southwest BC. We'll continue to monitor that and more on that here in a moment. Looking at the atmospheric river, category 4, back to back. And again, the high snow levels, big flooding concerns, a dynamic situation we're going to have to be watching as we go here for the next couple of days. Seattle-Tacoma International Airport, 24-hour totals, and the models continue to show some areas of the region you're getting up over 2 inches of rain in a 24-hour period. Could cause some urban and small stream flooding. We'll have to monitor that also. Now looking at Tillamook, look at the Oregon coast here. 4.2 inches of rain in a 24-hour period, and another big shot here as we go on in through Tuesday, on in through Wednesday morning. Yeah, impressive stuff here, especially for some of the coastal ranges here. You could get 8 plus, 10 plus inches for some locations as we go on in through midweek next week. This is Paradise Mount Rainier. So this initial precipitation here will fall as snow. This here has the potential to be all rain. So you can imagine the flooding concerns with all this new snow up there, and then dumping 4 plus inches in a 24-hour period on a lot of that snowpack across the Cascades. So we have some stuff to be working out here over the next few days. More on that here over the next couple of days and through the video here today. Look at Paradise. Big snow incoming here with the chilly systems, the 1-2 punch as we go through the weekend, and then we start to warm things up Sunday morning, and then the huge precipitation comes right about here. As you can see, not much of it is going to be snow, and there's going to be some flooding concerns with that. This is Paradise on the European. You can clearly see the big warm up coming. I mean, the snow will be flying and falling here as we go through Saturday night, but then the big warm up comes, and look at the freezing level really goes up above 10,000 feet with heavy precipitation during that time frame. This is the GFS, shows a similar picture there as well. And again, this is a cross section, would be 10,000 feet here, and Paradise is about 5,400 feet. So you can clearly see that warm air getting well up into the higher elevations. This is Paradise again. One more look at it there. 4.46 on the yesterday afternoon's European run there. Again, all is rain. Now looking at Hoquiam here, we have the wind potential coming in. This is Saturday morning. This would be Sunday afternoon, and then again early next week we have the potential for some 50-mile-per-hour gusts along the coastline. Then we have additional wind potential after that as well. As I mentioned, we'll go through that in a little bit more detail here. Snohomish County, Painfield Airport, 1, 2, 3, and you got last control rain at 48 miles per hour there. So definitely worth watching the wind upcoming here also. Now Seattle-Tacoma, I've backed this up a little bit here, and I'm using yesterday afternoon's run, but you can see 41 miles per hour, close to 40 here, and some of the ensembles with bigger gusts. But this is that time frame that I mentioned, that breaking wave on the backside of the atmospheric river. You can see a few of the ensemble members picking up on that late breaking wave. Classic troublemaker here for interior areas. As you can see, 43 miles per hour actually showed up in the control run here, but we'll watch that one closely. Now, looking at the European control as of yesterday afternoon, so you can see, again, the timing of these systems progressively stronger with the system Friday, and then on in through Saturday, Sunday, we start to warm things up with that strong atmospheric river River and the southwest flow starts to rise those freezing levels. And then the powerful one comes here as we go through the day Monday into Tuesday morning, and it kind of hangs out for a bit here across Pacific Northwest. And there would be that late breaking wave here. These late breaking ones, they don't have to be extremely deep as far as sea level pressure is concerned to cause a strong pressure rise and bring some nasty winds to the interior. So we're watching that one here over the next few days. Now taking a look at the 12Z GFS. So I wanted to show you the temperature at 5,000 feet. You can see Washington, Oregon. There's the Hawaiian Islands here. You can see how these first initial systems are chilly, and that's why we're going to be piling up the snowfall in the higher terrain. But then you'll see the switch. It flips. Check it out. Sunday morning, warm air arriving. Rain starts to arrive to the mountains, and you can see the very warm air arrive with the secondary atmospheric river as we go on in through the day Monday into Tuesday morning coming up here. And then the 12Z GFS wants to play this cat and mouse game of turning things colder and then warming back up inside some dynamic systems off into our future here as well. But that's the extended forecast. We'll worry about that as we get closer. Looking at the GFS, a little bit closer look at things here. Again, there's the Thursday system today, tomorrow, snow piling up in the mountains all the way through Saturday night. And then we start to bring this heavier precip in here and start to warm things up. And then the big atmospheric river continues on in through Tuesday morning shown. And it kind of hangs out for a bit there. And you can see the GFS also has that late breaking system. They're going to watch that one for some windy solutions over the next few days. Kind of a nice fun windstorm hunt there. Now looking at the European, this is last night's run. So this is the 50th percentile of the ensembles. So kind of basically a mean or close to it anyway. But you can see as we go through the next few days, we're scrolling out towards about Monday afternoon here. And now we're on in through Tuesday afternoon. And you see the big precipitation. This is ensembles. This is not a cherry picked solution or a random ensemble member run here or a crazy deterministic run. This is the ensemble mean basically. And you can see the huge amounts of precipitation coming in here. And this is just as of Tuesday night. And again, I just wanted to kind of drill home the point that it doesn't matter where you are. I was showing Paradise, but Snoqualmie Pass is definitely going to warm up as well. These high freezing levels and this high snow levels are coming for everywhere. Mount Hood is here, and same thing is going to go on for Mount Baker, Stevens Pass up into British Columbia as well with the arrival of this warm air. Now looking at the NAM 12 km here, this goes out 48 hours. I just want to show you some of the snow flying across my eastern Washington there as well. Could include places like Moses Lake and Ritzville, Spokane out there. And you can see just the huge amounts coming for the Cascades here. And then we shut off the snow machine and we bring the rain machine back. And we're going to look at that here now with yesterday afternoon's European, the snow depth in inches. Watch the snow pile up here, folks, as we go through Saturday. But then as we go through Sunday, watch what happens here. We start to melt that snowpack with the heavy precipitation and the warm temperatures coming aloft. So that's going to be the problem period there. It's a good thing we still have a few more days to look at that because there could be some serious flooding concerns incoming. And looking at the excessive rainfall outlook, we are now getting picked up here. Day 3, excessive rainfall outlook for the Oregon coast there. Day 4 does include a lot of western Washington and western Oregon, and day 5. And this has the potential to be upgraded here over the next few days just because there's going to be some tricky dynamics with a lot of snow up there and the extremely high freezing levels. But it's kind of nice to see the National Weather Service also picking up on that. And they mention us here, the plume of deep Pacific moisture will stream onshore the Pacific Northwest with a series of systems tracking onshore. And it's going to be widespread rain, as you guys know. But there will be some interesting rain shadowing effects, as always, with these atmospheric rivers. And this is the 7-day official precipitation forecast. You can just see these huge amounts here. And some of the coastal areas could be getting up over 10 inches, as you can see, maybe even locally higher amounts. And the 6 to 10-day precipitation, this continues on through December 9th. And this one goes to December 13th. Still looking pretty stormy here through the extended forecast, but we'll worry about that as we get closer to it. So anyway, yeah, so much to talk about here. I'm back at work the next couple of days, but I will be back at home. I might do a live stream here on Saturday or Sunday to kind of, get everybody on the same page here. Where we can talk about it. We can do some Q&A and whatnot. And we can look at what else the model runs have to bring here in the next few days. So anyway, hope you guys are liking these videos. Crazy weather incoming here. Let's see what it brings, and we'll continue to monitor this as we go. I'll do my normal briefings tomorrow, and then I'm off Saturday and Sunday at least, and I'll probably do some live streaming. Yeah, so it sounds good. But anyway, so I hope you guys are having a good day out there. Yeah, get up there and enjoy that snowfall if you can, but watch out when that turns to rain, and we got to start preparing for this flooding. But anyway, starting to ramble on here. But anyway, we'll do this again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.